welcome along, episode 3. And tonight we're actually going to talk about, I suppose, how myself and Chris met. And I suppose a very common interest which we share for quite a while. It happened with me coming into a league when I was doing broadcasting and commentary, and that's where I met Chris. We were co-admins in Era, I was at the time, or Evil, or whatever way we called it at the time. But I suppose tonight, Chris, we'll talk about sim racing, between running sim race, like running a sim racing community, to kind of give a breakdown of what it entails, to racing itself, to as the updates, then the new games that you're running through now, and I suppose everything that goes into it all around in a whole, if that makes sense. Will we go with that?
Yeah, because we've gone through a few transitions along the line as well. Different sims, different days.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's a good subject to talk. Do you know what I mean? It's a growing sort of, I can say, area, gaining more interest as time goes on, and yeah, I think it's a good discussion to have this week.
Yeah, and I think it'll also open up people's eyes to how diverse sim racing is, because it's not solely just about racing. It's not solely just about jumping in a rig or whatever and doing laps. There's a lot more to it than that. But yeah, I suppose we'll start with, how did you get involved in sim racing first? I'll just start asking you the personal questions to kind of give them an update of kind of where you came to be, I suppose, because you're obviously the owner of Amigos Racing now, and it's quite a big sim racing league.
Yeah, I started off by co-founding actually what is Amigos in Gran Turismo Sport with 2 other people. So we got to the point where we had over 1,000 people in Discord running leagues every night of the week. But for me, the Gran Turismo, as fun as it was and the community were great, it wasn't fulfilling something for me. So we took the step to PC, carried on the Amigos name, and transitioned from doing, for me personally, doing Gran Turismo. I used to personally run the Saturday Night League, to moving on to ACC at the time on PC, and basically starting again.
Yeah, because I remember we were discussing that, and it's a big jump to go from console to PC. We've had a similar kind of, I suppose, journey that way. Although my journey actually started with F1. I had set up a league at the start of COVID, funnily enough, or just before the start of COVID, where one night I was talking to a guy called Rabsy, and I just decided that I wanted to set up a league. So I got Rabsy in from the get-go. We set up an F1 league. Then we got a guy called Smitty in, Ludolf eventually as well. And then eventually a good friend called Pete as well, who I actually will introduce you to at some stage. Maybe even try to get him onto the pod. He's a really good guy. Yeah, so I started out the journey there with F1 for quite a while, and then I kind of picked up my broadcasting with that as well, because I suppose that's a topic that I'd nearly talk about in a separate day as well. So I started doing broadcasting with the F1 league, but at that stage, because we were all so new to run the league, it was more so, I think, an awful lot of leaders, but not one direction. So then I decided to leave that, and I ended up going on to PC. And that's actually how I got into getting to know you then, is I was doing stuff with ARC League for Assetto Corsa, doing commentary for them. Then they got me into doing it on ACC, where I met yourself, Christian Fengler, Liam Smith, I think it is. Was there
Barry, wasn't it, as well, at the start?
Well, Barry at the start, and then who else was an admin at the time? There was Nathan. What's Nathan's second name? Do you remember Nathan? He done. Can't remember his name. Sorry, Nathan.
Yeah, there were 3 of them, weren't there, basically?
Yeah,
and then you and me.
Yeah, so we all kind of jumped in together then. And I think it was more so, I think it was the same kind of thing there, Chris, as well. I know from my personal self, I had run a league called FFG, kind of in between that as well. Sorry, just to say. So I knew myself the direction I wanted to go when it came to doing racing leagues. But at the time, I'd done the transition from Xbox 2, PlayStation, so that kind of died off because I didn't know where to start with like the PC side of it. So that's why I went back to broadcasting. But then I suppose when I got to know all you guys, we got Era, I think, into an unbelievable shape between us all.
Yeah.
We all had our strengths and it worked great. But then, as Christian was the owner of that community, he had a clear academy direction with it, which I certainly didn't want in terms of I had no control over staff, and the student for me was upsetting me too much. So that's why I kind of stepped away. I don't know how did you step away from it? I can't actually remember what happened there, Chris.
It just weren't working, mate. I think and basically what ended up, I think we were clashing too much.
Yeah.
I weren't happy with how they were going around, and I was quite vocal about it as well.
I think both of us were very vocal.
Yeah. They wanted me to step down from an admin perspective because they didn't like me being vocal, but still wanted me involved. At which point I was like, no. I was like, I've given a lot of help here to get you going and up and running. And now we've got to this point. You want me to step away, but still be there if you need me. So at which point I completely stepped away from the whole thing in its entirety. I removed myself from Discord, removed myself from the leagues, and I was just like, sort of, you're fine. Do you know what I mean? I'm not upset by it. I had my own thing going on, but
absolutely,
I'm not here if you get. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to stay around if you get stuck.
Yeah.
You can go and figure it out for yourself now. We're up and running. You go and figure out what you want. I mean, like I said, I didn't really agree with the academy aspect.
Yeah.
As much as I'm all for improving people and bringing them through, and I've always done that myself.
Yeah.
But I always a big believer that people should be on a level playing field. I don't think you should steward different because someone's new.
Yeah.
The only way people improve is because they're being told. Basically, they're taking the penalties, but then alongside that, I had it with people in my league where they'll take penalties maybe weekly, but behind the scenes, you're saying, "Don't worry, you're improving, you're trying. Maybe try this, or attempt this, or try this technique, or be aware of this." And basically, behind the scene, you in essence, you're training them, and you're having one-on-one with them behind the scene chats, but you still steward them fairly as you would do anyone else.
Well, I think that's my biggest thing for me. That's why I ended up leaving was the student side of it. I think I left after you, and it was more so that the student for me is exactly that. The decisions were incorrect, and it was leeway given when it shouldn't have been given leeway, and that. It's probably changed by now, which of course is fine. But I suppose I was the same as you then when I set up FFG into Supercharged Motorsports on PC. I was very transparent with everybody, as are you and Amigos, with the results of the reason why it's done, and that's the feedback that needs to be given. Is exactly why it's done. The penalty points, and obviously I think worked with that, but we're kind of going a bit of a side from it. But like, so when you done the transition to PC, how did you go about setting up the community to where it is now? How did you kind of recruit? How did you build it up, and I suppose move it on in terms of getting the staff in the right areas, getting the right structure in and stuff like that? Because that's an awful lot of things people wouldn't know about. But then also I want to throw on top of that, how did you get then buzz in the likes of broadcasting, artwork, all that kind of stuff? Because there's so much to sim racing. It's not literally, as I say, just jumping in and racing. You need the stewards in place, everything like that. So, what was your take on it? And obviously, I'll talk to you my take as well then separately.
Well, okay, let's break this down then. You asked a lot of questions there, and I think people might be a little bit lost in the entirety.
Yeah.
So to start with, I had maybe 2 people who followed me to PC. That was it. To 3 of us. I ran it. They just wanted to race because they're still on PlayStation side.
Yeah.
I started by sticking to a Saturday night, and what I used to do every single week was run an open server,
okay,
ACC, 2 20-minute races, and basically you just used it in the chat. Come and join Discord. Come and join us. We build that up. I joined other communities as you do anyway because I wanted to race anyway. And we got to the point where maybe 8 or 10 people. And what we were saying was, I ran it as a league, so we still pointed, we still tabled where people finished, but we still ran it as an open server to keep trying to draw new people in. So every single week, same again, run as a proper league, but in the chat, come and join us, come and join us, come and join us, advertising on Facebook, wherever, just pumping it out wherever I can. Up until I got to about sort of 15 steady people. And then that was the hard part, you see, because when you're doing an open server, you do get contacts and accidents and it's ruining people's race. And at some point we had to make the choice of, do we keep doing what we're doing to try and draw in new people, or are we going to lose people because it's an open server? And do we now close it off and run with 15 people? And that's basically what we did. We had to make a hard decision then, and we closed it off. But during this, we actually went from a Saturday night to a Monday night, and that was another hard decision because I actually lost a few drivers in that process as well. Because for me, the Saturday night wasn't working because people like to go out.
Yeah.
So I had to sit there and go, right then, again, do I keep doing what I'm doing? Or do I mix it up? Do I make changes with the aspect that long term it's going to be for the benefit of the league? So we actually moved to a Monday night slot, and we went from strength to strength on a Monday night, basically.
No, I remember that very well.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing what done it for us though, we was running privately. Then we was on what was the Jimmy Broadbent site?
Oh,
simracing GP.
yeah.
Whatever.
Sim GP,
Yeah, and then we went to SimGrid.
yeah.
And SimGrid's been a great tool in its own, in its way. It's been a great tool in terms of advertising your leagues and running your league and doing your tables and everything. So yeah. And then obviously going on from that, we're up to God, what we're now on SimGrid, 1,700 followers, something like that. Yeah, just over 1,700 followers now. But again, we've now gone to LMU, and we switched nights again to a Thursday. Because we just had to be flexible with the times. It's different sims and different personnel, different availability. We've just turned out Thursdays have been the night for it. But I actually think for communities, LMU's done more harm than good as we stand.
I suppose I finished up running my league kind of at the end of the cycle of ACC going into LMU, and obviously I was dabbling a bit of iRace and that as well. From what I've seen, I don't think I think it has in the short term, not in the long term, but a lot of people who are playing ACC have obviously moved to the likes of iRacing, and then some have gone to LMU, and some are kind of still sitting at ACC because I still see ACC still does have some active leagues. I don't know. I think it'll come back strong because like LMU offers so much in terms of diversity of the car classes, in terms of having your GTs, having your LMP2s, LMP1s, and stuff like that as well, and being able to do the 24 hours and stuff. But I think also with that, if you're solely talking about leagues that are ACC looking to change over, it's probably harder for them as well because the commentary is going to be slightly different if they're having commentators, and the tools that's used for that. The artwork is completely different as well. It's a different kind of files to use, and there's so much that goes into running league because obviously people customize their paintwork and their cars.
I don't think it's just that though. I think with ACC, because there's no ranked online servers, people have relied on communities. That's what made it special. See, LMU is a bit more like iRacing because it's got all the ranked online stuff. It's got ranked online championships. It's got ranked weekly specials. It's got the daily races. I find what you're getting as a player base is that the solo player is very happy playing the online race. Okay, doing the online championships. We still haven't got driver swaps for hosted servers. So that means that even like ourselves and some of the bigger communities, even than us, can't put on hosted events for driver swap. And that's where it helps drawing numbers. Okay. So you're literally leaking. Okay. But then on top of that, things like SimGrid, for example, which is basically where you have to host LMU. Yes, you can go to Race Control GG, but you're mainly going through SimGrid. Yeah. Okay. They will hand out accounts to absolutely everyone.
Okay.
So what's happened? It's now getting swamped as well. So if you look on there, there's 1,000,001 tiny communities with 8 players racing, maybe 10 at a push. And what it's done, it's just diluting the player base. So look, we still do all right.
Yeah.
But as a whole, you can see it diluting it. And then even going on further than that again, most of the tracks in LMU are capped at 38. Yes, you get the 2, Le Mans and Spa endurance, which does 62. You have Silverstone and Paul Ricard, which has just come just 44. Okay. but all the rest is 38. So that means realistically, you're capping your league at 38 players.
Oh, okay. So that's a
LM,
lot different from what I was doing, because obviously when I was doing the ACC side, the servers you could literally customize a lot more. So obviously, with me not being in LMU, I didn't realize it was that limited as well in numbers that you can run on tracks.
yeah, I had 50 car grids on a Monday, if you remember.
Yeah, of course. With several servers at some stages as well. So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. So we was running like maybe 80 to 100 people at one point. Where here on one night we are now capped at 38. We can't run practice sessions openly like we used to. They have to be scheduled.
I
So
think.
LMU is
Sorry, I think.
harming the community.
Yeah, well, what I don't like is that they've used the whole R factor server way of running it. While with
Yeah.
ACC being able to have your own server, have it run 24 hours a day for practice, and then having one set up for obviously, the qualifying, the race and stuff like that, and being able to really customize it, I think that's probably something that's really going to hurt long term.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's the way they're all going, mate.
Well, if they're
So
running the rank, that they're
even
trying to be like iRacing, that's the way I look at that.
well, I think what's happened is what they've done. They've realised that the hosting of a server is an income.
All first,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So why are we paying some third party for servers where they could be taking that money?
Yeah.
And so I get it. Okay. And to be fair, of LMU, the prices ain't so bad.
Like, I didn't find
Okay.
iRacing expensive either, but I think it's
yeah, they're not. But the better thing about iRacing is the fact that you can actually go into the race, as in like the league, and open up your own practice server as per.
Yeah.
You can't do that in this. You need someone to literally tell you what it is or set up a practice session. But then going on further than that, ACE Evo, they're going down that route, but their prices are extortionate. I think they're
Why?
They're €1 per slot.
What? Why are
Yeah,
Kunos
now
going
don't get
down
me
that
wrong.
road?
See what I've not worked out because I haven't done it. I think you own that server per slot, so it might be open. I don't know, by the way. But for us, for example, yeah, let's say we spend, I don't know, 20 quid a month running
Yeah.
servers. I don't know what we pay, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
For 38 cars. So let's say we do one race a week, one practice session a week. Yeah. And to be fair, we open it up here and there as well. Do you know what I mean? And we do the longer sessions. In AC Evo, that'd be 38 quid. But then
Per
on top of
race,
that, that'd be 38 quid for that. But if I want to do AC Evo and LMU, that's 58 quid a month just to run servers.
That's madness. What are Kunos doing? Like, Kunos is
again, it's an income. They got it wrong.
Yeah.
They told. Obviously, I don't know if you know or don't know. I'm in the beta with them. Okay, so I'm in the beta, and they've announced what they're doing. And there was a little bit of kickback then saying it's too. I mean, I said it as well. It's too much.
Yeah.
You get, but the problem you've got is that Kunos are so in this idea of AC1 and AC Evo being the new AC1.
Yeah.
They're forgetting sometimes what's made things special. The open mod at AC1 is what made it special. You're just not going to get that in AC Evo.
No.
Okay. And the community factor is what made ACC special.
ACC was amazing. Like, for me personally, in league racing, I think that was peak sim racing in terms of communities.
Yeah. I've been a big believer, and even now, for me, I run a community who hosts leagues.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't host league in this where everyone comes. I host communities, and we are a community, that hosts leagues for people to come and race in, have a chat, have a bit of fun with.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We want clean racing, but ultimately I've always been very proud with my community that it's very non-toxic.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a great. That's what anyone who does do sim racing, I even tell you, is look up Amigos, and I'll even show a link into the description here. They are a great community. Like, I've even done racing with you. I've done commentary for you at times, and obviously then when I was running Supercharged, we were doing inter-community stuff as well and having the crack that way. These are a great community, and I truly believe all sim race communities should be about the community first, and then the racing is part of that as well, because it's obviously, as I say, there's a lot more that goes into it, because in that community you will have people who offer their own time to help your student, offer their own time to do car liveries, some may offer to do broadcasting at times, commentary at times, when they can do. Obviously, an awful lot of that stuff is paid for as well. You know, there's an awful lot more that goes into it, and there's genuine friendships that are made. Like obviously in Amigos, you've got guys that meet up at the GT races and stuff like that as well, at the British GT. Yeah, so I suppose sim racing itself it's so much more than just racing, and for anyone who isn't into it, you'd be surprised where you may actually find the niche that you may suit you in it, especially if you're artistic or anything like that, because it's so open. I'm
Yeah, I find we're different than maybe say like a first person shooter community.
yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, especially like I can only speak from my community.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not toxic. We have made genuine friends with people through
yeah,
it.
yeah,
And I think what you find is like, how do you run? How do you do it? You meet these people through your community by running and having open dialogue, by
yeah,
booting out the people who are trouble causers,
yeah.
by being there, helping, to and fro with people, bringing in the right people to help you. I mean, we've been so lucky because we've got John. John's been hands down the best person.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you know, he on a well, to be fair, mate, he does the heavy lifting now within
Okay,
Amigos. Do you know
okay,
what I mean? He does by far more than I do. Yeah,
okay.
what he brings to our outfit, I can't speak highly enough to what he does and brings
Hmm.
to. You know, Amigos wouldn't be what it is today if it wasn't for him.
I would agree to that because, like, I know myself seeing him through the Discord, he's always active and he does all the license stuff, the point stuff, and loads of other stuff. And it's not just his personality; he is an absolute grinder in the background. And I suppose I always felt I never had my John when I was running Supercharge,
They're
and
hard to find, mate.
oh
Yeah.
mate, like genuinely, like don't get me wrong, I was lucky to have Aaron doing the bit of stewarding of that as well. Like, and like any help is absolutely.
Yeah.
People don't understand how much, like, you know yourself, how much you appreciate that, because you know how much you
Yeah.
put into setting up and that. So anyone who does offer anything like that, you're super thankful to get them on
Yeah.
like on your
Where
side.
where
Like,
we've been lucky is that we've had me and John heading up the league.
yeah,
We brought Peter in to head up the Amigos racing team as such.
yeah,
The AET team.
yeah,
That's his baby. Again, that's not my thing at all.
mm-hmm.
And I openly said that when I started up. I went, "This is yours."
Yeah,
Okay. There'd be sometimes I bring people in because we've raced under Amigos in the past.
yeah, yeah,
They're going to be in the fold. Do you know what I mean? It is what
yeah,
it is. Okay.
yeah,
As a whole, though, it's Peter's. He sorts it all out. He's the one that does all the organising, the setting up of the events. I have nothing to do with that.
Brilliant.
Okay. So that's now run by someone. I got John Happy running the league, but then
Yeah,
I got like Aaron. I got me, Aaron, Nathan Weekly there to help doing the stewarding.
nice one.
So I have a nice little team there now of maybe 5 or 6 people
Yeah,
who just tick us over to getting the bits done we need to be done.
yeah,
So it works well. Look, it works well, but it's again, it's what do people want from it?
mm.
Commentary will always be the biggest issue comes sim racing. Always. Unless you're paying for it, finding people to do commentary is hard work.
Oh no, I sure look. I know I've been on the side of running the communities to try get, like, sure, you know yourself, how many people did I train up and then they've gone on and they're making money elsewhere?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, we've had that.
like, I suppose for me, when I look back at sim racing, obviously I done the Xbox League, and then I actually set up an FFG Classic League. That's how FFG came about with P. And it was, do you remember they used to run the classic cars and the F1 games? They
Yeah.
set up a league of solely racing classic cars, and you know, like some of the mad formats I'd done then in Supercharge with the likes of the double sprint races and stuff like that. That all came from FFG. So like I've always looked at my past when I've been looking at running at in the future. So I've learned, like, I suppose like yourself, you'd learn your lessons from running the Xbox side of it to then, or PlayStation in your case, to come across onto it, and you kind of see where you went wrong there to be able to push forward correctly. Like when I done Supercharged, I think my biggest problem was I never got a John
No.
because I took all the work on myself, which was too much in the end. Because obviously, well, it grew way more than I expected. To be absolutely honest,
and I tried warning you against that as well.
But it just happened, no matter, like, because I was trying to slow it down, but it just was. It went so busy and super active servers and whatever else, and I was glad that I was able in the end to push everyone across to you that could still race, whatever. That's what I made sure, just to make sure everyone did go to Camigos and that. But I think for anyone that's ever thought about running a league, what I will say is this: make sure you're realistic about what you want. Make sure you're realistic about what time you're going to put into it. Because I can tell you here now, I was doing 40 hours a week on top of my job, and I'm sure Chris, at times you were the same.
Yeah,
Because
honestly, it's not just that. It's when you get it going. Is
oh
when
mate,
you haven't got many people in your Discord, you want to make sure everyone's getting answered or questions are getting answered, and you want
yeah,
people to interact. So what happens? It's that you tend to be that person doing
yeah,
all the interaction.
yeah,
And so my wife, I mean, bless her, she's like, get never off it.
yeah.
Yeah, and like, yeah, because someone needs to reply. Someone's asking a question.
Well, it's your community, so you're
Yeah,
held accountable, so you have to do it.
yeah, yeah. They've
You
asked a
know,
question. I need to answer the question. There's no one else to
yeah,
do it. I
yeah.
mean, as time's gone on, loads of people ask the questions now. And to be frank, I very rarely have to.
Yeah. Well, there's also the freak when you ask questions. And I think that's also down to experience when you start to where you are now. You learn all these things, have the FAQ channel, have, a clear guide, set of rules, all that kind of stuff. Well, at the start, you're feeling your way.
It's always, you're always improving it. You're always asking yourself, what can you do to improve the outfit? What can you do to improve the
100%.
racing? What you can do to mix it up, keep it fresh? You're always asking them questions. You have to ask yourself them questions. So
Of
not
course.
it grows stale.
Well, you can never be too complacent. And that's something I've always been. You can never want to do the same thing. You're always looking to try to be different from anyone else, offer something that's completely different. But also, you need to be a good multitasker because you're doing recruiting, you're doing advertising, you're, managing then the teams, organizing the
Yeah.
events, setting up the servers for the events, make sure the entry lists are fine, then make sure when the student's done, that it's done correctly and efficiently, and make sure everything's on time. You end up having to do so much stuff. Like it's mad. And I suppose that's when people who offer their time, that's when you really, really appreciate it, because then they're taking one load off where you might have 20 things going, but having one person taking one load and someone doing something else, it then frees you up then to then focus on the quality of the league. Well, if you're doing it all yourself, eventually it does go to shit and you do get burned out because you're drained.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's for me is
100%.
probably the biggest thing.
I've stepped back more as time's gone on,
Yeah.
just because I don't want to burn out. I've done it a long time now. I've done this
Yeah.
5-6 years where it is now. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've always sort of said, keep it manageable, keep it within reason.
Mm.
Keep it to a level where it's not a drain. Because ultimately, I'm a sim racer.
Yep.
I want to race, but
Yeah.
not just that. In my spare time, I don't want to be doing everything to do with the league. I want to go and race.
Yeah. And enjoy yourself
Okay.
and unwind.
Yeah.
Being the biggest thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Be it play other games, be it a race in another league now.
Yeah.
Be it I jump in the endurance events when they're on. His
Mm.
Amigos, as good as it is, and it's run for me brilliantly and
Oh
smoothly,
no, it
and we've
is.
really got it where it can't now be all hours for me, which it was at one point.
No, but that's naturally because it's grown that you have other people doing it as well. That's why you are able to step back.
Yeah.
I've always wanted that to happen when I was running Supercharged. Just unfortunately, I just wasn't getting the staff in. But also, it spurred out of control in terms I was getting so many numbers in. Like, it was crazy at one stage the amount of drivers that I had in at the time. And then we had the sim race league, but also I had sponsors coming on to do bits as well. So I was trying to manage so much stuff. I do miss that side of it though. I do miss the kind of getting the sponsors on top of the community and getting people in.
Sponsors is the hardest part.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I was very lucky there. Okay, to be fair, I actually still got money out from one of the sponsors up until last week because I was still getting them sales and something. Not even messing. I got like a thing in PayPal of like 60 quid. That was the smallest amount to give me. Like
Nice.
there was 1 month they sent me like fucking €400. Like, yeah.
Nice.
So that's why you remember
Nice.
at one
Well,
stage I was giving
we
stuff
just got
away.
affiliated with Go. We just got
Nice one.
affiliated with Go
Nice.
and Reaper Hardware
Nice.
as well. So yeah, we just got in with them, which is nice. Also, we've got the Just Push as well, which we will
Yeah.
move over to LMU at some point. Hopefully, like generally at some point this year, we get it transitioned over from ACC.
Yeah.
So, but getting sponsors is the hardest part, especially at the moment when we don't have a commentator.
If you want, I'll introduce you to Track Titan because they were the ones who were really looking after me.
were
And
they?
I know I also want to give a shout out though to ACC Drive. Them guys were with me from day one as well and stayed with me till the end. So I'm absolutely gonna give them a little shout as well. ACC Drive were phenomenal for us because do you remember how many free bits of software they get? They must have given me fucking about 50 or 60 because I gave away so
Yeah,
much of them. We gave all the esports team stuff as well, discounts and whatever. But I have to say that's probably the one thing I do miss from it now. While I love my time now in terms that I'm able to set up the podcast with you and do this, and then I do a little bit of gaming on Daisy and stuff like that as well, and just do normal life stuff. I do miss the hustle and bustle at times.
yeah.
I do at times, but
You loved all that, haven't you?
I did, but I don't think I'd ever be able to do it again though. In terms of the time that I put in, I just it's crazy because when you stop doing it, that's when you realize it. But I yeah, like commentating, I come and go from that. There's days I want to do it, and I'll end up giving you a shout saying, "Chris, I'll do that for you" or
You do,
whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, man, I think anyone who actually is interested in learning how to do broadcast and even the likes of doing these kind of videos, recording them up on YouTube, if you ever want to get involved, go into Amigos. I'll teach you everything you need to know. Do a bit of comments with them in return, and I'm more than happy to do that. You know what I mean? Because at least it'll get their name out there. Because it does get them jobs. Like I'd say, I probably train 5 or 6 who are still actively doing it and getting paid very good money. Because even myself, and I was getting paid between 25 to 35 an hour. Do you remember I even done like the 10 hour or 12
Yeah.
hour endurance race? I done it nearly all solo and got all the money for it, and it's tax free as well. Probably
Yeah,
maybe I meant to
I
say.
dipped into it. I
Yeah.
dipped into it, didn't I, for a bit? And to be fair, see, part of me with it all is I enjoy it,
Yeah. Yeah.
but then I'd rather be out there racing.
Do you want to know for me? Because I'm out of it now. I enjoyed the community side of it in terms of meeting so many good people, which I truly did meet. I didn't enjoy the times where I had to kick drivers or poor bat tech or stuff like that. They're the kind of downsides to it because you do get to like some of these drivers, but unfortunately, if they say something wrong or do anything wrong, you have to protect the community and get rid of them. So you have to even go
Absolutely.
against what you want to do. But I really enjoyed the banter. I used to enjoy definitely meeting people. And like for me, meeting the likes of you, like we've still talked way past me being in sim racing. I still talk to Pete. That's 5, 6 years even now, or
Yeah.
even a bit more than that from when we had set up FFG, then the FFG Classics, and then move forward from that. And even the likes of Ludolf and that, you meet some really good people that you talk to for life, that you just get to know. And so that side of it, I think, is massive. And the world we're living in now, I think it's probably more important than ever to have these kind of communities because some people aren't as social and they will just stay on their PC, they'll game, they'll, do all that kind of stuff. So I do feel that the relationships some people do get in the likes of Discord and whatever are massively important. So that's why I do feel communities are massively important. So it does sadden me a bit that the likes of LMU and that are kind of not really accommodating too much to the community side of it and doing their own thing like iRacing, because iRacing was, in fairness, a game changer in terms of how they ran it. But I'd much preferred how ACC was in terms of,
Yes.
you were able to set up your own servers, have everything running, get people in and get people involved. And you could do these wild events as well, where it'd be 24 hours with the driver swaps to having multiple drivers. You can have nearly 200 drivers
Yeah.
involved if you're having 4 on a team and stuff, and up to
Yeah.
50 cars. So, I suppose another thing what I wanted to ask you, what has been your biggest challenge in terms of keeping the league going as long as it is going, and obviously touch wood into the future as well, because there's a lot to it.
Yeah. Multiple things. Multiple things. That's not a straightforward answer to that one. Don't overload yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make it a chore. Keep it enjoyable.
Yeah.
Always mentally remember that you do this for fun and it's not a job. Okay. I used to race with some people and we was in our own little private group, like 4 or 5 of us.
Yeah.
And at the time I was the slowest one. And what I was finding, I was getting really down, that I was just well off it. And I politely said to him, right, lads, I'm feeling too much pressure
Yeah.
being in here. So I'm going to leave
Mm.
and just step back from this group because
Yeah.
I'm not at your pace, and every time I race, I don't like it basically.
Yeah.
So I stepped right back. So things like that, keeping it all within reason. Don't be too stuck in your ways. Hold firm when you need to.
Oh yeah.
Because people are always going to say, I want this, I want that, you should do this. And at some point, you're going to say, no, 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 no. This is what we are. This is what we do.
Yeah.
For now, this is the line that we've drawn.
Yeah.
But with that being said, you do have to keep your ear to the ground, as in like every season, is this the right thing? Is this the thing we should be doing next season? Like I said, I went from Gran Turismo, I went to ACC, and I
Yeah.
went to LMU. I've gone from Saturdays, Mondays to Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the moment, we are a Thursday league that hosts a multi-class GT3 and hypercar grid, which is 80 minutes long. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah.
This is who we are today. Does that mean who we are going to be in 6 months' time, mate? Don't know. But we will, do you know what I mean? But we will see.
I think the key word then is adaptability.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's probably it. You have been adapting to the changes. And I suppose you need to be reactive as well, but not overreactive. You need to react. I suppose, just for myself, and you'll know as well, you will always have people coming at you with opinions, and opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. When you're running a league with a direction, you will get drivers trying to change your direction and, trying to manipulate you to do a certain thing or whatever. I think you're dead right, hold firm. Because at some stages, you will have some drivers who are quite good and quite known that, you may feel my add to the league, but if they're starting to demand special things or anything like that, you need to stand firm with that kind of thing and nip that in the bud.
And you will lose drivers. You're
Oh,
always going
100%.
to, don't get upset when
You
you
don't
lose
own them.
drivers.
Yeah.
You don't own drivers. They don't
No.
belong to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't get upset, even if they're long-term drivers, that they go.
No.
You don't own drivers. Okay. People will always come and go. And then sometimes what you find is that you lose them and then they come back.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing with that as well is with the community. I think this is probably where community means more, is that people will stick with it once they're in a proper community and they're enjoying the people inside of it, and the racing is properly managed and properly judged. That's it's down to the quality of everything in the background that keeps drivers. But unfortunately, you're never going to please every driver. You're 100% you're going to lose them to Jesus. So like if I look, even because I think my single is still there for Supercharge, I looked at season 1, and I think then by season 5 we had nearly a full, completely different grid. There was maybe 4 or 5 drivers that stayed from that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. Don't get too upset by people come and go.
No.
That's just. Yeah. But like I said, it's understanding. It's understanding when to hold firm, but it's understanding when to change. I mean, the biggest challenge we had, well, not challenge, the biggest decision was when we decided to go to LMU from ACC. We literally finished ACC. I went to LMU like this, cut off ACC.
Yeah.
We went, we are no longer an ACC league. We're an LMU league.
Yeah.
Here it is. We want you to transition. We want you to drive. We understand if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But we no longer will be offering ACC. Yeah. And it was cut off at the tap, turned off overnight. And we made a hard decision that if we want to be successful in LMU, we can't water down the offering by doing ACC and LMU, because a lot of people, given the choice, then wouldn't have changed. Yeah. And we just would have hampered ourselves going forward, because ACC is dying off in the grand scheme of things.
Well, that's quite an active base, though. That's what I will say.
Not as active as it was. What you're finding is that the big communities still run leagues. Yeah. And that's it. Yep. It hasn't got the mass players, or it's got the single player people on there. Yeah. And so we decided, look, we're going to make the early jump to LMU. And we actually got ahead of the game against a lot of the other people because of it.
What I will ask you is this. Do you regret not keeping it even as a smaller league? Because it was still really good racing. I know the game was getting on a bit. You don't regret it, no?
No. I've even installed ACC now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's mad. Yeah, I still have it. No, actually, no, I probably don't even have it installed.
Yeah, that's I've got no need for ACC anymore. No need for it.
And would you ever look at doing any other sims, or are you just going to stick with LMU solely?
In terms of running the league, probably element use only.
Hmm.
I would do anything, you know that.
Hmm.
I was looking at iRacing, for example, but it's hard to get people into other sims.
Yeah, I dabbled in iRacing, and but it's hard to even get iRacing drivers to race in a league, as you rightly say, because we all know it. We got our license and we were racing in the iRacing community events. All of us
Exactly.
were, even as a team,
Exactly.
we were like. So it's. I
Yeah,
think
no.
it's iRacing is probably never going to be a league racing thing. It's because look, the events are fantastic that they run themselves. Like all of us were jumping on for a good while, me with Chico on that, doing events and having the crack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm curious for Amigos to see where their future's going in terms of what sim, because I don't think there's any one sim at the minute that I think has nailed the community aspect of it since ACC.
No,
And even
it hasn't.
Ren Sport has died a death of being going from hyped to gone. From what I've heard, like I've
Well,
not seen anyone at it.
no,
Like,
it never got going, mate.
no,
They bought into the big esports events, didn't they? Like the £1 million, whatever it
oh
was,
yeah,
esports events, and they got the esports drivers driving it, but it never took off, mate.
yeah,
They're getting it onto console. Their biggest thing now is it does better on console.
yeah,
Because the people driving PCC, the offerings are just so much better than what that's offering.
yeah.
The one I find the biggest disappointment, and maybe one we shouldn't be too shocked about, was that Project Motor Racing.
Oh yeah, no. Or
Yeah,
even AC
you know,
AC as well, the new AC one, whatever it's called, or what's it, AC Evo, was a massive
AC Evo.
letdown in terms of what we were expecting from Assetto Corsa, because with Assetto Corsa, the base game was decent for its time, but it was the modern content manager for the modern has kept it going. Even
Yeah,
to now, it's massively popular. I was even
yeah,
on it myself the other day.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
When we got QNOS are wanting AC Evo to be AC2 as such, and it's just never going to be, mate. It's just never going to be. It's, for me personally, what I would have done, I would have kept ACC, upgraded the physics, even if it was a
yeah,
new ACC like ACC2. Do you know what I mean? Whatever, yeah.
yeah,
We all know the physics with like the curb interaction. You know, sometimes
yeah,
fixed between cars and this. I would have fixed all that. This is my point. In terms of physics wise, I would have got it up to date.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I would have kept the SRO license. The SRO license has something like 42 or 44 tracks. So whatever it is, yeah,
yeah,
literally there's a load of tracks in it.
yeah,
GT3 is still the most popular class. So I would have made sure I had all the GT3 cars in there up to spec, you know,
yeah,
the bobble sorted, because some of the older ones did get neglected when they shouldn't have been.
yeah,
And I slowly would have introduced all the tracks, okay?
yeah.
Because then realistically, if you got 40 odd tracks in a sim, you don't need another sim,
That's very
okay?
true.
Okay, in the AC2, then I would have then brought in the hosted endurance events, like official QNOS endurance events,
Yeah.
okay? And that game would never have died.
I think that's I agree with you on that. Like I think I would say maybe a year and a half ago, me and you were having a discussion. I think before I even decided to finish Supercharged, is that we wished that they kept the license and just added to it, added in more tracks, refreshed the physics. Because for me, as I said, I think it's been peak for community racing, for sim racing. The physics,
Yeah.
while they were fine, did need a bit of updating, but also getting the other cars in, and it badly needed more tracks. We got one or two
They
near
had
the
the
end.
license for more tracks.
I know, yeah.
They had the license for more tracks. In terms of being SRO, I mean, they had the license, is what I mean by that.
Yeah.
You just brought in Nordschleifer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Valencia as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, but what I mean, though, everyone always asks for Nordschleifer.
Yeah.
That was a changer in its own right. Okay. Can you imagine having like 40 odd tracks in a sim?
Can I say one
Official,
thing,
you could have.
though? Northslifer didn't do anything for the game. All of us were hyper for it, but nobody wanted to race that track,
No,
which is so annoying.
Yeah, but the numbers did bump up when it first came in.
For
Okay.
a week or two, yeah.
And and you know, going back to what I'm saying to you, if the QNOS done some official stuff in it, you can have the official GT Spa 24 hour. You could have done the 24-hour Nordschleifer in it. Okay. Then you got all the other big tracks in the SRO.
Yeah.
You really could have stuck on some really decent official endurance events within it, which would basically would have been like iRacing as such with the endurance
Yeah.
events. Okay. Perfect. But now the other thing I would have brought in as well, because when you watch the British GT, and I don't know how feasible it is, but I'm just chucking it out there. Do you know how to do the Formula cars?
Yeah.
GB3s and GB4s?
Yeah.
If I'm right, I would have brought them in as well. Because then if you wanted some Formula racing, like Formula 4, for example, in iRacing is massive.
Oh yeah. Formula 4 is
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. But basically you could have had that equivalent in in ACC. So imagine that then you could have the Formula cars in there as well because they race on British GT.
I would probably say no to that, just for the simple reason is that it done GT so well. You're asking them then to broaden out because we both know what coolness is like when they start throwing loads of different cars into it. Then
Yeah, but
they
my
do
point
neglect
being
it.
is it's not loads of different cars. It's one car or two cars because it's the same class.
GT4s
You don't
never
need to
took
worry about the
off.
fault.
GT2s never took off. Everyone just wants GT3s.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
get
issue.
that. But what I'm saying to you, if you brought in being a Formula car, it's a different type of racing. Okay. I am not denying that the GT cars are them, and hence is saying you got GT3s, you're going to win it. But I
Yeah.
also would have brought them in as well.
Mm.
Okay. Just to give another style of racing.
Well, I
Is my point.
prefer. I love the Formula cars. That's what I loved, and I've always been bitterly disappointed that Automobiles Tattoo never took off for leagues, and they never got a right for leagues because my
They never
God,
got it
Chris,
right at all. No.
that game though it's amazing with the amount of vehicles that it runs, the tracks. Like it's great fun. I haven't drove it now in a little while, but Chris, we all had great fun on that. Running the
Yeah.
60s,
Oh
F1
yeah.
cars around 60s, Spa and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
Hockenheim.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
But no, I think Kunos they could have got it
Yeah.
right. It was there to be had.
I think the
And
main foundations were correct, but the rest of it, you are correct that they didn't do enough with the likes of the license getting more tracks in. The formula things that would have never come to me. But I do feel they could have broadened the Japanese GTs and stuff like. Do you know what I mean? They could have really
oh yeah, no, that's what
utilized
they
the
could have done all
SRO a
that.
lot better. Yeah,
That's what I'm getting at. There's 40 odd tracks in total.
yeah,
So they could have brought them all in. Like I said, I would have brought the Formula class in just because you get the people like driving F1 or stuff like that.
yeah,
I'm not saying it would have taken off, but I'm saying that I think there would have been leagues who would do like a Formula 4 type league.
yeah,
Yeah, and it just brings something a little bit different, keeps a bit of life to the game by offering
yeah,
something a little bit different.
yeah.
Okay, and for me, it was there to be had,
No,
and they completely screwed it.
yeah. Formula 4 racing was so good in iRacing, actually.
That's exactly what I'm getting at. They could have had. They could have had that. And imagine like your British GT where you had your Donner and your Alton Parks. Okay, it would have been great.
What do you think the future of sim racing is from your perspective in terms of communities now? Not even. Do you think it's a dying thing since all the games are going the way they're going in terms of that? It's a paywall through their running everything.
No. I think driver swap hosted defense will make a big difference.
When's that due to come in on LMU?
Not a clue. Don't know. I don't know because it's all right doing the official one, a bit like iRacing. But imagine being an event where you got commentators, you got proper stewarding, you might have awards given out, trusted because it's the league community.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no shenanigans going on. I know LMU are doing the auto thing, but nonetheless, you're still missing all the other bits.
Yeah.
I think hosted events will make a difference when it arrives. How big of a difference, I don't know, but it will make a difference.
But will it not come too late before people are so used to the way things are and they might even migrate onto other sims in terms of iRacing? I'm sure it's probably taking an awful lot of drivers from the ACC side of it.
No, not at all. No,
Yeah.
because iRacing is not. in terms of like how it works, it's not offering anything different in terms of it does its official iRacing defense, official iRacing endurance. That's what LMU is now doing. Okay, it's doing that exact same thing.
iRacing does it so good though, Chris. You know that.
I'm not saying that part. I'm just saying in
Yeah,
terms of offering. Okay,
yeah.
so no, I don't think it's too late for it to come. But like I say, I think when it does come, it will make a difference. We need to come.
It definitely needs to come at this stage. Like sure, LMU's what a year and a half, well, a year at least
It's a
fully
year,
running.
yeah, just over a year, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm surprised that hasn't come by now because there was talk about that fairly like soon after release. If I remember, there was starting to be discussions over for the hosted events and driver swaps and stuff. I'm surprised it's a year in and there's still no driver swaps. That's for me. That's a red flag, a worrying one.
Well, they keep messing with the API, don't they? They keep updating stuff. They've only now just brought in the engineer mode,
Oh wow.
which yeah, well, literally just on this update's come into play. So look, I think they're trying to make sure when they release stuff, it's right. There was a few issues on the 24-hour they did at Le Mans when they literally
Okay.
loaded the server. I think sometimes with these type of things, we just have to be patient. It's coming. It will
Hmm.
come. Just hold out, basically.
Yeah, I suppose your ACC was never perfect from day one, and it took a lot of
No,
time. And even at the end, while I did adore ACC, it still wasn't absolutely perfect by any means at the end
no,
of
it
its
wasn't.
cycle.
No, it wasn't.
You
Not at
know,
all, mate.
but I loved how accessible it was in terms of deliveries. Where obviously we did 3D car model for doing deliveries in it. Or the commentating tool for me was probably one of the greatest things because it gave so much data. ACC Drive, man, the amount of data you could do, you could manually do the driver swaps and do everything for the other driver that's racing in a completely different country to you. You could have their car set up for their next pit stop and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It did so much right.
Yeah, but to be fair, ACC Drive is not an ACC
No,
thing,
I know, yeah, but it's
and
part of it.
but there's tools there where we've always said that should have been inbuilt.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, we diverse a little bit, but yeah, that's for me sort of where we're at.
yeah. That's fair. And I suppose then from a community side of it, has much changed on in terms of moving from ACC to LMU? What has changed in the league? The drivers, or has anything
Oh
else
yeah,
changed?
yeah. We got a whole new community in some ways.
But
A whole
like,
new community,
has the racing changed much? Is it better? Is it worse?
better. We love the multi-class factor. I think a lot of people come over from ACC struggled with the multi-class aspect.
Well, yeah, because they're going. Well, I suppose the multi-class never worked in ACC for me. Excuse
No, we
me.
didn't.
Like when you're running the GT4s, the M2s, the GT3s, it was carnage when a GT3 came up against an M2, especially mid corner.
Yeah. Yeah, we had incidents and accidents and bit of
Yeah,
chaos here and there. And you literally have to say to people, look, a lot of people are new to multi-class racing.
yeah.
They're trying to understand how to approach another car. Please bear with just why people are adapting.
Yeah, I suppose it does take a bit of time for that. I won't mention names though, but there is certain drivers that never adapt. We
Oh
can't
no,
mention
at
names
which
because I
point
don't
you
want to
just
pimp anyone.
had to remove them, which we did, as you did.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that's probably the hardest thing. And like, I suppose for you, what has been the hardest thing? What's been the hardest point for you in Amigos? Like, what's been your lowest point
Um, there's
throughout
been
the
a
whole
couple of
time?
seasons. Yeah, I think we just shut Mondays
Hmm.
where we didn't get the numbers on Mondays, but lucky enough we had Thursdays going.
Yeah.
So that was personally
Hmm.
hard
Yeah.
because we've always had a Monday league for years now. So to then not run a Monday was hard because that's
Yeah.
just what we were known for and did and enjoyed doing.
Of course.
Um, and the early days when you sit there and you think to yourself, is this worthwhile?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean? Because I was doing it alone.
yeah,
I mean, there was no one around me, no other communities to tap into. I was a one-man band trying to start a league up.
yeah. Yeah, I think at the start I never had that kind of a doubt. I always looked at it in an exciting way. For me, I only personally where you felt kind of that disheartened feeling was kind of near the end for me. Was just when I too much. Um, but yeah, I can only imagine how hard it was for you on the Mondays because I was shocked when you had told me that you're getting rid of the Mondays.
Yeah,
And like that was your baby. Like I've always remember Mondays being your absolute baby.
yeah,
And I always made sure
yeah,
I never had a league that coincided with your Monday and stuff like that as well. I never wanted to try and overrun that.
yeah.
Um,
That was hard.
yeah. And what's been your favorite moment? Like, is there one particular favorite? Is there one thing that's ever happened over, say, the last 3 or 4 years where it's been like, wow, that was
No,
peak?
you're not. I mean, not one particular. I mean, look, when you've had 50 car grids
Yeah,
on a Monday and you look back at it and you just see the row of cars,
yeah,
that's a wow moment. That's a pinch me moment.
yeah,
When you think, God, we've organised that.
yeah,
Do you know, we've organised and we've got 50 cars on this grid
yeah,
here to race.
yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. I'll never forget when Amigo started getting those numbers, and it was just the buzz was good fun as well. Like I obviously remember it on my own server, but even from your server side of it, it was a great buzz. And just being able to the chats after the race used to make me piss myself laughing half the time. You'd have a few people who've had a bad race, and you'll always get that because there will be unlucky times where someone misses a breaking point. Like I can't remember, was it with Supercharged Amigos? I'll never forget Oliver missing the breaking into in Nordschleife
Oh,
or
mine. Yeah,
Nuremberg.
Hungarian.
Yeah.
Hungarian.
Oh yeah, that's what it was in Kerry. Yeah. Oh mate,
Yeah. He come in, didn't he? And literally wiped out.
I think it was like 8 cars.
Honestly, yeah. What was he doing?
But like they're the ones I loved because he laughed about it and was like, "Look, I'm sorry." Do you know what I mean? Like he knew that I ruined races or whatever like that, but like he was honest and no, everybody knew it wasn't intentional. And I used to laugh at those moments because have people crying, but then when they realize what it is, it's like they're best friends then afterwards as well. Those
Look,
kind of moments that were
going
great.
back, sometimes that's when you got to learn to put a line underneath it.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And we've been very quick in Discord when people kicked off to say, cut it out, let
Oh
students deal
yeah,
with it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
So,
that was a lesson that took me a while to do because I remember when I first started Supercharged, it was the Discord was definitely a bit wild, but then I had to just put my shoe down, and that was it. Then it completely stopped it.
yeah,
But
you have to, mate.
I think that's down to certain people though. If you, as I say, you need to be firm and give people, I think a strict understanding of what your vision of the community is going to be, and then they'll either buy into that or then they can choose to leave.
Well, what happens? Toxicity breeds toxicity.
100%, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to snap it out.
Oh yeah.
And if you got someone who's not willing to snap it out, you need to remove them.
You know, my biggest disappointment of people being toxic was JS because that boy had potential to be an unbelievable. Like he's a super fast driver, he was, but he had
Yeah.
potential to do an awful lot more. And it was just unfortunate his attitude. For me, that's one driver that I wished was able to kind of see to keep their mouth closed. Because oh my god,
But like,
talent was there.
yeah, and this is where I go back to saying, no matter how quick they are,
Yeah.
if they're going to be like that, unfortunately, they can't stay.
Oh no, 100%. Actually, my love was Batek. I absolutely loved the guy. Passion, but I had to get rid of him. Nice guy, but yeah, when you get people that are crashy, to be polite,
Yeah,
you just have to kind of cut it out.
the biggest growth in terms of personal growth for me like that was Aaron
Which Aaron?
Holloway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he used to at first used to spout off a little bit,
Oh, yeah,
but then
in that way, yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
as time gone on and like you're saying, you and me discussions behind the scenes saying, "Come on, Aaron, it's not right, mate." To who he is today, it's night and day.
Yeah. I've had some.
And that's a prime example of speaking to someone behind the scenes saying, "Look, it's
Yeah.
not right. It's not on. It's not how you go around it. Like, come on, like, do us a favor. You're making my life hard work by being like that."
I'm super proud of him for many reasons. Because when he first, I suppose, came into racing with Amigos and was supercharged, I think he came from supercharged to Amigos, didn't he? And
Or was he at ERA?
no, I met Aaron. It was through my first season in supercharged. Him and his brother joined,
Okay.
and I got to know him that way. And obviously, then you got to know him as well with racing because you were racing in the league as well. But with him, when he came in at first, he took everything too personal.
Yeah.
Be it on the track and then in the chat. And then I had a million conversations with him and kind of explained how the right way is to go about it as well. Obviously, he's a lot younger than us as well. Like we're no spring
Yeah.
chickens. But his
Not much.
personal growth has been massive. His personal growth has really and truly been massive. But how he's been able to mature in terms of dealing with the situations a lot better because I threw him in at the thick end of it in Supercharged with kind of throwing him in as a admin or whatever and getting him in that way. And obviously he excelled more so I think in the stewarding. But he learned to apply himself a bit more because there were stages where he wasn't really doing the job. And I was like, look, if you want to be doing the job, you need to do this. And you have to have those hard conversations as well.
Yeah.
But he really turned around then and worked his ass off. And then obviously, when I was giving up on Supercharged, he was more than happy to jump across with me, goes get as many drivers across. And as you say, he's been going to strength with yourself as well.
Yeah, mate. People, I think this goes back to the where I always said we're a community first.
Yeah.
Okay, there's someone there who's had a lot of personal growth.
Massive. Massive. Yeah. I suppose when I look back at that kind of stuff as well, I look at Glenn Smith racing. I know you and him don't see, well, it's not that you don't see eye to eye. I think the whole thing with the brother and stuff like that, but with Glenn, where he was when I joined Era to the driver that he was when I had kind of finished up was night and day different.
Yeah.
Like he was mega. Same with Matty Gamble. Is Matty still racing actually?
Just come back.
No way. Yeah, Matty Gamble, what a legend. Yeah, him as well. I'll never forget just how good he was, especially near the end. And he was a young guy as well that grew massively, and his consistency, I think, for him was key, and being able to keep a cool head, and that's part of maturing, I suppose, as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
there's one or two drivers though. I'm not going to mention names that just never ever improved or never grew or changed. You know, there was nothing. Unfortunately, some drivers just don't grow, but they're there to race regardless, which is great. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, look, it's what people want from it, don't they? Some people want to race to win. Some people just want to race to participate. Some people race because they just want to be part of the community.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay. They're there because of the community aspect. And
Yeah.
some people are there just to be trouble.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We've all had
Okay.
them.
So it's
Yeah.
it's finding that balance in it. It's finding that balance, but underline is I don't care why you want to race as long as you are respectful, you're clean, and you understand the rules of being in within this community and on the racetrack
Yeah.
of our hosted race. We're all good. We all race for different reasons. Do you know what I mean? I've raced for self improvement.
Yeah.
I don't win every race. I don't win that much, but I race to win.
Yeah.
I race to be competitive. That's why I race. Some people race and their whole outcome is I want to be consistent and pick up the spots I can by being consistent. I'd rather put it in the wall.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like there was one, like I suppose I was always, my philosophy is I'd rather not have all alien races. I wanted people that showed in, week out, regardless of their pace, who were, you know, who just loved racing and showed up at the
Yeah.
community, done the racing. I loved when people got involved in this goal, but if they just chose to come race and then move out, go do something else, by all means do that. I just love people who showed up and raced and gave it their all. And I'm actually cheating. I'm actually going on to SingGrid now as we're talking because there's one guy's name that in my last season, I adored him. And I think he went over to your league and he wasn't by far at all the quickest person. Just bear with me a moment till I try find the name of him. I'll have to jump back into the last season. What's this? Just have to authorize Discord with SimGrid. That's been that long since I was in it. So if I go. Sorry about this. Supercharge. Jeez, I haven't been on Supercharge in ages. Jeez, still 874 people following. Season 7. Let me find his name. Also, another thing with sim racing, you got to meet people as well from all different walks of life, which for me was super fun because you met people from all over the world, but people who were at retirement age, some people who were, in college, school, whatever it may be. It was such a diverse audience, I suppose is probably the right way to say it. I absolutely loved it. Let me see here now. I just need to see the overall standings. Here we go. Nathan Warren was the champion in the last season, which always made me happy. Where is his name? Gonna drive me mad until I find his name. Richard Vickers. I think that was it. He was a young guy, and then his family, I think, remember, used to jump into the streams as well. I absolutely loved commentating for him. And that's another thing which I do want to point out as well. With the drivers, I loved, especially from the broadcaster point of view, when their brothers, their sisters, mothers, fathers, friends all jumped in and were supporting them as well. I absolutely loved that. I used to,
Brilliant, wasn't it?
oh man, that was special. Super special. Those for me are the top moments like that, because you know yourself, when you're sitting there, like, that racing's real, man. You're sweating.
Oh, yeah, you're sweating it. The passion's real, mate.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. But yeah, Richard Vickers, he was a lovely guy. Is he still racing in Amigos? I know he did transfer across.
Comes and goes a little bit, mate. Comes and goes.
Lovely young guy.
But yeah, but right, mate. I think let's call it a day there, because I think we chatted all things.
Oh yeah, we
sim
went
racing.
completely over what we were expecting to do.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to thank everyone who's still here now.
Yeah.
We can chat sim racing as much as people want to listen to it. If there's people want to listen to more about sim racing, if there's subjects people want to know more about, please ask the questions in the comments. Yeah, we could maybe go into in-depth subjects in certain areas rather than just a general overview of sim racing. But yeah, I just want to thank anyone who's here now, and if they can like and subscribe, it'd be much appreciated.
Yeah, 100%. And I think next week we'll talk a little bit, I think, memory lane of Christmas and stuff like that with the season that it is. I think we should have like a Christmas when we actually just discuss Christmas and toys and stuff from being kids to adults, and what the transition is, because obviously you're a father now and how Christmas is now as a father and all that. So I think we'll go through all of that next week, guys. So next week is definitely going to be lighthearted and no specific niche, and I think it's something everybody, no matter what you're into, you'll reminisce and talk about your favorite toys and stuff like that as well. So look, guys, we will see you for next week. Thanks very much for watching, as Chris said, and like and subscribe.